Hi, are we live? It says live.
It's preparing.
It does say live.
It does say live. It is almost. Oh, well, it recorded all of that. Now we are for sure live, Susan. You're good.
Hi, I'm Susan Aldrich. I'm glad you're going to join us today on OLAAT Chats. I'm also glad that I have Paige and Rachel with me to keep me straight. We were supposed to have the big spring party tonight, and of course, due to coronavirus, we cannot do that. And so we decided to open this format and use it to let you know that we're still working, and just share with you some of the libraries that were planned for this spring, that of course have been postponed. This is a novel time, I think, in everyone's lives. We are unsure of everything. So one library at a time is in business. We're in contact with our potential sites, and we've got teams ready to go. Thank goodness we have Paige with us today, because we wouldn't be able to do it without her. She's the one that's doing all the work to make this happen. So thank you, Paige. And can you tell us a little bit about the trip you had planned for the Dominican Republic? Was it the end of March, 1st of April?
I was actually supposed to be leaving in a week, exactly 7 days from right now. We had done a lot of the preliminary planning for the trip, and we got right to the point of purchasing plane tickets, even out. And that is a time that news started spreading a little bit more regularly about our current situation. And so we made the decision to hold off on actually purchasing our tickets, to wait and see kind of how it played out, which ended up obviously the correct decision, because we would not have been able to travel. And so we, at that point, we kind of put all of the planning on hold just to see where we were going to be. And that planning, we were in touch with Kelly, a Peace Corps volunteer in country in the Dominican Republic, who we were going to be working with in the school in her community. And she had actually done groundwork for us and had been helping research bookstores and places that we were going to buy all of our in-country supplies. And she actually contacted Better World Books, who we work with regularly, and got a lot of books donated that were going to be going down to her site. So those books are all still in Charlotte. We have them in storage in hopes that we're able to still bring them down. The Peace Corps, all of the Peace Corps volunteers have been pulled out from their sites right now. And so there's just a lot of information that's up in the air, and we don't really know for sure how it's going to play out. We hope that, things go back to normal sooner rather than later, and that we are able to return to the Dominican Republic and meet Kelly there and go through with the original plan. But we'll see. Nobody really knows how this is going to end up, but that's what. And my volunteer that was going to be going with me, we're still talking and planning. He actually helped us in a library in Chicago quite a few years ago. It was one of our earlier libraries.
Yeah,
very early actually in the organization. And so he was actually supposed to be my second going to the Dominican Republic, and will probably still be, assuming everything we end up following the same plan. And if not, if we had already been in very early preliminary stages of planning for one of the Peru trips that we have that we're working with down there. So there'll still be a trip once things go. But in the meantime, while we can't travel, he's actually going to help us in making a list for our Latin American books to add to the list that we already pulled from purchasing for our libraries. So
that's just really cool. That's really cool.
It's very exciting because we don't have much insight on books to purchase, and so insight from somebody that, you know, that background is a lot more enlightening than just what just what we can research and figure out on our own. So that's so my library, it really didn't get very far off the ground as far as even the planning stages go, but Rachel actually ended up going on the beginning stage to Peru. So I'm going to turn it over to her and get back to controlling the behind the scenes.
Yes, we actually, we did end up going. We were in country when our library was postponed. My husband has family in Peru, and so we were able to go down early before starting the library trip. And we were actually visiting his family as the library was, you know, getting canceled in the moment, postponed to a later date. And so, you know, I think immediately my reaction was, you know, could we maybe creatively problem solve this? Could we do it in his hometown? Could we do it in Lima? And trying to see what our options were, but things turned bad pretty quickly while we were, the week that we were there. I think we ended up coming back like the last night flights were out of Peru because the borders were shut down because of the virus. So it was a tumultuous time. And but I'm thankful that, you know, we were able to stay with somebody and we were safe. And one of the most positive things of the whole trip was I was able to meet one of his cousins who's in university. He's studying. We got to talk about One Library at a Time's mission and how great it is when young children can see other young adults a little older than them from their own country who are studying, who you know, if they get to travel abroad, they know another country. If they've been to another country, it's just great. It's great experience and a great example. And so with the time that we had, since we couldn't do the library, I ended up training his young cousin. And so who knows how many library his cousin's going to be able to help us with. And I trained another cousin as well. I've actually trained two cousins. So I'm excited whenever things are safe and we're able to travel again. Just the opportunity that's been created from what was a bad situation, you know, because it was really anticlimactic to get there and then be seeing his family on the front end and, you know, get the email that basically we'd have to postpone it. We couldn't do it then. And we were already in Peru. It just felt so, oh man, it was so disappointing, you know, because we were already there and, you know, all the planning that goes into the trip, Susan, you know, us stuffing the suitcases, weighing them in your house, you know, in your little library that you're sitting in right now. You know, it's just, there's so much pre-work that goes into it. But another good thing was a lot of the in-country airlines were being really, you know, understanding. So our organization is able to preserve the flights in country that we had and use them at a later date, which is always helpful. Because, you know, usually with One Library Time trips, we show up to the capital city because that's, you know, an international spot to fly into. And then we're traveling somewhere else. We're taking a flight in country somewhere else. We're taking a long bus ride. Sometimes there's boats, right, Susan? Sometimes there's boats, hikes, horse rides. You just cannot be sure of these things sometimes before you get into it. And so anyway, so the books are in country. They are ready to travel to Arequipa, which was the city we were going to, very South Peru. And we were going to do it in a children's home for boys. And we're still going to do it whenever we're, able to get back up and running. And I think when we should write a blog about this one day, we should call it the canceled library, but it's going to have a wonderfully positive twist at the end because good things come, even when all the plans are thrown out the window. So I'm excited to see where we go with Peru because we're pretty new in Peru too, right, Susan? I mean, this was only the second one we were about to do.
Right. And in Peru, we are loosely affiliated with the Rotary Club, which is also really cool because we always partner with other nonprofits to help with the sustainability and hopefully even grow it as other people come to visit the particular site. Yeah, Paige and I did it. How many books was it in Peru, Paige? Over 1,000, right?
I think it was really close to 1,500.
Yeah, we kind of got tired of counting. So they had a lot of books that were already donated that were in the library. But when
which
the
is
kids,
great because sometimes
Yeah.
we have those where the ones where they have nothing until we bring it. So we do all kinds of libraries, but to see one that's already started is even more encouraging too.
yeah, we've been off grid to a few places, haven't we, Rachel? No running water.
Oh yeah, I hope to be able to talk many of those stories in our upcoming conversations. Susan, how many had we done already in 2020?
We've done 4. So we hit the ground running in January, and by what was it? End of February, Paige? 1st of March? When did they finish the library?
Which one?
Oh, was it you or Rachel? That was
I have the list.
you were overseeing that. When was the library in the Darien in Panama?
Yeah, I think that was February. So we've done we've done 2 in Panama, and the other 2 were in
Cuba.
Okay. Yeah, so that
And
was phenomenal.
they also in Cuba, they have people in country that work with us.
That was a phenomenal first quarter for us.
Yes. We hit the
Yeah.
ground running, and it really helps now because we know we can hit the ground running again as soon as this is over.
Much faster when we have volunteers. We have volunteers in country in Panama. We have them in Cuba. Much faster for us when everything's safe for us to send in-country nationals to do the work. And who knows, Susan, who knows what's going to happen on this back half of the year when everything's open again, how much that helps us for them to extend our work and for us to focus on new areas where we haven't been, pulling resources into new countries. I know we're hoping to come into Guatemala. We've got a few contacts there for some different feeding centers we're hoping to do. So it's always bewildering to see everybody coming together, and our organization extending. And just like Paige's friend's example, like it takes everyone to make the organization better and all around growing and more knowledgeable and more effective, so
yeah, I tell everybody that every library has its own story, but every library also teaches us a better way of working. So Peru, Cuba, Panama, and now with your training in Peru, we have people in country. to set an example for the kids that, hey, one day you can grow up and go to college and expand your world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great mission. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with us moving forward. But as you said, Susan, we are still in business and we're moving ahead.
Yeah, we still have lots of plans, lots of stuff getting, done on the back end while we're here, but waiting.
And while we wait, we're going to do this again because actually it's fun. And we're calling it OLAAT Chats. So you can join us next week for OLAAT Chats. You can look at your Facebook page and share it and click on the link to see the YouTube videos. So I think we all can say, see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah.